So everyone, I call this meeting to order. This time we'll call the current Madison County Planning and Zoning Commission public hearing to order. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you here. If you would, we'll get started. If you would, as usual, please stand with me for a word of prayer. Eternal God, our fathers, once again that we're bowed in our presence, thanking thee for life, health, and strength. Thanking thee for allowing us to keep us safe, allowing us together tonight to do the county's business. Our Father, we ask that you bless each and every one of the sound of my voice, bless each and every one in this entire world. And we'll be so careful to give you all the praise and the glory. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen. As the first order of business this evening, I am required to read a few statements regarding the zoning process. But before that, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Canola Scott. I'm the Planning and Zoning Chair. And I will ask each of the members of the Planning and Zoning to introduce themselves, starting to my left.
My name is Stephanie Harmon. I represent District 3.
Good evening. Bruce Gandy, District 5.
Good evening, Cynthia Fortson, elected by the Planning and Zoning Committee.
Kenneth Bradley, Vice Chair in District 1. Lee Mitchell, District 2.
William Smith, District 4.
Of course, our zoning administrator.
Frank Patrick. Fortin here.
All right. If you have any questions after I have finished, please raise your hand and I will try to answer them. Zoning directly affects property rights. These include the rights of property owners to the enjoyment and the use of their property, and the right of adjacent property owners and the general public not to be unreasonably harmed by specific land use. Tonight is the first of two public hearings that will be held. A second public hearing before the Madison County Board of Commissioners will be held at this location at 6 p.m. on the first September the 11th. Attendance by applicants or their representatives is not required at these public hearings, but your attendance is encouraged in case questions come up that I may not be able to answer. The order of business. As to the order of business tonight, first I will introduce the applicant, and then the zoning administrator will give her comments. Then the applicant or their authorized agent will come forward, state the name and address, and sign in. Then state the reason for their request. You may provide any other information or documentation supporting the application. Next, the planning and zoning members will have the opportunity to ask the applicant questions to clarify their understanding of issues related to the application. Afterwards, I will open the floor for public comment in support of or in opposition to the request. We're required by law to allow at least 10 minutes on either side for public comment. Anyone who desires to speak will be given ample time to express their support or opposition to the request. After those who have had the opportunity to speak, the applicant will be invited back to the podium to review any negative comments and answer any concerns expressed by other speakers. Once the applicant has finished, the public hearing will then close, and I will open a special session of the Planning and Zoning Commission. At this time, no further comments will be allowed by the public unless a person is asked a question by a member of the commission. The commission will then proceed to vote to recommend approval or denial of the applicant's request. This recommendation will be presented to the Madison County Board of Commissioners. This is very important. The Madison County Planning and Zoning Commission is a recommending body only, consisting of concerned citizens who are appointed to a 4-year term by the county commissioners. We are a fact-finding body that visits the property under consideration, review the information associated with application, consider public comments raised during the public hearing, and with the guidelines of the comprehensive plan and other land use ordinances, and make recommendations to the Board of Commissioners. Does any member of the Planning and Zoning Commission need to recuse themselves for anything that's on the agenda tonight?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'll recuse myself on zone case 6, 7, and 8 for obvious reasons.
Okay, let the record show that Ms. Harbin has recused herself for 6, 7, and 8 on the agenda tonight. With that, we will, any old business that needs to be brought before the commission before we go into the public hearings? Any new business? All right, our first public hearing tonight, Justin Guest, applicant for his uncle and aunt, James and Ginger Stuckle. Ms. Tracy, you want to talk to us about that one? Come on out here, man.
He is requesting to rezone the 2.04 acre portion of their 20.18 acres from A2 to AR to allow it to be split off for his home site, and the remaining 18.14 acres will stay in the A2 zone. Property is located at 1114 Shoal Creek Road in Colbert on map 59, parcel 113 in District 5.
All right, thank you much. Mr. Guest? Is that you?
Yep, you covered it.
Tell us anything you want to add to what you just said or why you're asking for this rezone.
We're just trying to move closer to family. Or my aunt and uncle, they kind of took me in whenever I was 16, and they're kind of like my parents now. So they're getting old. They need somebody to take care of them, so we're going to do that.
All right.
Thank you.
Hold on just 1 second. Anyone on the board have any questions for Mr. Guest?
I have one. I see that you got, excuse me, plenty of road frontage there, but on the parent parcel that this is being cut out of, it's mentioned on the application that there's an easement across this property, but it's not on the easement has nothing to do with your particular parcel.
No, sir, it doesn't.
Okay.
The easement's on the main driveway that goes in, and it's a little bit farther up the road from our property. So we're not touching their driveway, and we won't be using their driveway. They do have an easement that goes to the property that's in the back of his property, and it's just that driveway.
And the chicken houses that are on the property are not in use and will not be in use.
No, sir, they're not. They're actually being torn down.
Is that, your property where that's off the clearing area? Is
Yes,
that-
ma'am.
That's where you're gonna have your.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yep, we stepped out in faith and started cutting down trees.
Now, the property that's cleaned off, you will have your own separate driveway.
Yes, sir, I would.
Any additional questions? Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
All right, at this point, we will open the public hearing and ask if there is anyone here that, would like to speak in favor of this rezone request.
I'll speak in favor of it.
State your name and,
Mark William, I live at 1155 Foot McCullen Road. I also have an item on the agenda for tonight. But I'll tell you, this young man grew up with my children and stayed at my house probably 50% of the time coming through high school. And I can't think of a better person to live that close to me. So I would support it wholeheartedly.
all right, sir. Anyone else? Anyone else? Is there anyone, in attendance tonight is in opposition to this rezone request? Anyone in opposition? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board, and for any comment or entertaining motion to approve or disapprove.
Mr. Chairman,
Andy?
I'd like to move to approve the rezone.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second that this rezone request be approved. Any further discussion? If not, we will, begin with Stephanie.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Gaines, this has been approved. You're welcome to, attend the second public hearing before the commissioners. You're not required to be there, but I would suggest that you do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Our second rezone request was Malcolm Dove, applicant for Roberta Dove Estate. Tracy?
Okay. And he is requesting to rezone a 2-acre portion of the 28.4 acre property from A1 to AR to allow the 2 acres to be split off for an additional home site for rental purposes, and the remaining 26.4 acres will stay in the A1 zone. The property is located at 4140 Highway 29 North in Danielsville on map 64, parcel 16 in District 4.
All right, Mr. Dove?
Yes, sir. Basically, the spot was an existing mobile home since 1970-something. And had a friend that was wanting a place to move a mobile home to. And so that's one reason we're rezoning. And I've got all my brothers and sisters to agree that I'm in the process of purchasing the property from them. And I'll be the sole owner eventually. But I just wanted to rezone it so I could have that mobile home put there for these people to live, because somebody was trying to force them to move when they were supposed to be in an agreement to let them stay where they were at. And he also worked with my first cousin, went to Cary, and Brandon Cary. And I was just trying to do the right thing, get him a place where he could have somewhere he could stay.
All right. Any members of the board have questions for Mr. Dove?
We've got the plat here. Can you clear up, what's on the property now?
There's an old home place that's basically a barn, storage building, there's no power or anything to it. And then that's the only other thing that's gonna be on this property where the mobile home will be. And it's just a storage building. Yeah.
Any further questions?
Oh, yeah, well, I was looking at the sign. The sign, is there a mobile home with a truck out front? Is that,
Mobile home with a truck out front.
yeah.
Yeah, white pickup truck, yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah,
now-
that's it.
Is it the field where the sign, because I saw a sign, and then I went down further, and then there was a sign going up this long driveway, so how is it?
Long driveway.
Yeah, there's another sign.
Talking about your mom.
Yeah,
Well, there would have been another sign. My mom's driveway's paved, that goes up to the brick house.
okay, yeah. And then there's one down
That's my,
before that.
okay, in the curve, you talking about in the curve?
No, it's before
Okay,
you get
before,
to your
that's
mother's
before,
house.
that's where this one's gonna be at.
Okay, so is it that field?
Yes,
That
ma'am.
open field?
Well, it's just past the open field. It's gonna be between the open field and the old house that's there on the property. The old, it's basically a barn. It's a storage building. It's my grandfather's home place and my grandmother's home place. But it's nobody been that house, there ain't nobody lived in that house in probably 40 years or longer, probably 45 years. So it's just been used for storage, but it is on that, it's got the 2 acre tract that's cut out, that house is part of it with the well, septic tank, but the septic tank was put in 70-something, I think 76. And the well's there on the property, so I did the 2 acre tract to include the old house, so that it would be, if anybody ever decided I wanted to build something there, that well would be on that property.
Okay, so the other property that the septic tank is gonna be in the trailer.
Yes, ma'am, it's
So
gonna be,
they're gonna share that.
yeah, if, the house doesn't have even a bathroom. This old house was built in late 18, early 1900s. And it never had a bathroom in the house. It was an outhouse behind it before my grandfather then died. That's how long it's been somebody lived in.
The driveway will be the existing one to the old house.
Right, and there is one that goes out to the trailer where the trailer is. It veers off, just as soon as you turn off into that driveway, it veers to the right of the trailer. And then the old house is to the left of the trailer.
So the old house and the trailer share the same well, that's what I'm talking
Yes, ma'am.
about. Oh, okay.
If there was somebody living in the house, but like I said, there ain't been no running water in that house in 40 years. So,
Any other questions? Thanks, sir.
thank you.
All right, is there anyone here who wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Not, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for any discussion or entertain a motion to approve or disapprove.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we, approve as presented.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second that we approve this rezone request as presented. Any further questions or discussion? If not, we'll start with you, Bruce.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Duff, this has been approved.
Thank you.
We will present it to the Board of Commission, recommend, and I do recommend that, if at all possible, you do be at the second hearing.
That's it.
All right? Moving on to number 3, Linda K. Holloman, applicant for the Nams Family Farm LLC.
And she is requesting to rezone a 4 acre portion of the 139.93 acres from A2 to AR to allow the 4 acres to be split off to be sold, and the remaining 135.93 acres will stay in the A2 zone. The property is located at 0 Crabapple Hollow Road in Hull on map 17, parcel 94 in District 1.
All right. Ms. Holloman, please tell us what you'd like for us to know.
Out of our family farm, we have, we've been in, have a conservation easement, and we've come out of that and are asking for these 4 acres to be, sold out of our 139, so that, a young couple who is, almost like members of our family, can build a house there. It's on the corner of the property, so that it doesn't cut in to anything. It's on the edge, of course, borders the road, and we'd like to allow them to build a house.
All right. Anyone have any questions for Ms. Holloman? None? Thank you very much. All right, is there anyone in the audience wants to speak in favor of this rezone request?
My name is Sarah Upton. I am the wife of the couple that
they're hoping to be able to sell the property to. My husband and I live in Madison County. Mr. George and Miss Linda Kay, when we moved here, took us and we knew no one at all. We moved here for my husband's job. It was a leap of faith, and it ended up being the very best thing that ever happened to us. And Mr. George and Miss Linda Kay were every bit of like a mom and dad to us when we just literally did not know anyone. And we had to move back to Florida for a couple years for my husband's job, but very quickly realized that these are my youngest two. We have one more, that we wanted to raise our kids in Madison County. We don't want to be anywhere else. And you all know it's not exactly super easy to find somewhere in Madison County. So Ms. Linda Kay very graciously offered to try this route. And if this is something that is approved, we don't have plans of going anywhere. This is where we want to be. This is where we want our kids to be. And so we're thankful to them, and we're thankful to y'all for giving us the opportunity to build a life here.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, does anyone want to speak in opposition? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for any further discussion or a motion to approve this. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve. A motion to approve? I have a second. I believe Lee was first. Any further discussion? If not, we'll start with you, Cynthia.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. This is approved. Again, we will present it to the Board of Commissioners, and please come to the public hearing in September. All right, number 4, Barry Lloyd, owner and applicant for Interstate 85 Services LLC.
Okay, he is requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of his 46.77 acre property from industrial to business to allow it to be split off for a convenience store, and the remaining 42.77 acres will stay in the industrial zone. The property is located at 11270 Highway 98 West in Commerce on Mount 2, Parcel 6 in District 1.
All right, Mr. Lloyd?
I'm actually not Mr. Lord, Mr. Chairman. I'm Jason Black with the law firm Weinstein and Black in Jefferson. I'm actually the corporate counsel for Interstate 85, and Mr. Lord is merely the applicant. The owner is actually Interstate 85, also owned by Mitch Seymour, and so we have submitted the application before the Planning Commission this evening. Mr. Seymour and Interstate 85 would like the opportunity to build a convenience store that is located on the corner of Georgia Highway 98 and D. Williams Road. As I would assume all of you know, Mr. Seymour is a well-known businessman in the community. He's known for producing well-respected businesses and well-respected properties all over the state of Georgia. And so he would like the opportunity that's brought before you guys to be able to do this. It is currently zoned industrial, which under the most recently accepted and adopted provisions and the ordinances is actually an accepted use. By doing this, it actually protects kind of that corner from ever becoming a manufacturing plant or anything else, and provides a well service to the area and the immediate area for the citizens that may need a convenience store.
All right. Okay. Members of the board, have any questions for this gentleman?
On the rear of the property, I forgot the plat here.
Yes, sir.
Between the area that would be paved and the rear of the property, is that a grass area? And what would it be used for? Just gonna be open? or-
I think it's gonna, the plan would be for it to be open. It's just a buffer, I think, for the back industrial area. I mean, there's another 40, I think there's an additional, plot of land that just gives a buffer for in the event that somebody was to do something with that.
So no intention of putting anything there for parking or trucks or anything like that?
No, sir, this is strictly a convenience store for as a gas station.
I noticed there's a diesel island there. The reason I asked about trucks, the diesel island there's no intention of parking trucks, large trucks on the property overnight, anything like that.
No, sir, there's no plan to create a truck stop, quote unquote truck stop. It would just be enough area for the trucks to pull around the back of the building.
Any other questions?
And one more. I know that there were two conditions placed on the property when it went to industrial, and one of them was that it be only storage buildings. The other one had to do with hazardous materials being stored, but, and I know that Commissioner Chandler, who made that motion, has no problem with the convenience store being there. Can we anticipate anything else on the entire property, on the industrial zone property, to be proposed like the convenience store has come forward, or is the rest of it gonna be storage buildings as originally proposed?
That would be the plan. I don't think Interstate 85 has made any specific intention to move forward with that project. I think that's something that potentially is in the works at the current moment, but there's no intention to change it thus far.
Can I ask a question? Since it's going to be a business now and gas station, is there any, anything coming or anything that this might have something that might turn into like, help and working on cars or anything?
No, ma'am,
Auto
it's
parts or,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
auto service center connected to the convenience store or anything?
No, ma'am, there would be no need for that. It's just strictly a convenience store. Yes.
Any further questions? All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you very much for your consideration.
All right, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in favor? Hearing none, is there anyone to speak in opposition to? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board for any discussion or a motion to approve or disapprove.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Do I get a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? Kenneth?
Yes.
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 All right, sir, this has been approved. We will make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners to approve. The second public hearing will be before the Board of Commissioners, and we should ask that you be there in case I can't answer any questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your time. You have a good night.
All right, number 5.
Just give me 1 second to get caught back up on.
Oh, sure, okay.
Apologize. Okay.
Well, we're ready. Mr. Fulliam, Mark Fulliam.
Yes.
Mr. Tracy?
Okay, Mark Pulliam is requesting to rezone his 12.29 acres from A2 to AR to allow a 5-acre split to gift his son for a home site. Property is located on Foot McClellan Road in Calvert on map 45, parcel 70 in District 5.
All right, Mr. Pate?
Thank y'all. 2 years ago, we did this for my youngest daughter on the opposite end of the property. It was 17.3 acres. At that time, it didn't have to be rezoned. At this time, our middle child, our son, has asked to do the same thing on the opposite end of the property. It's gonna be as honest and as plain with you as I can. I grew up beside my grandparents. I think it's the best way a child can grow up. And that's what we're trying to do here. We've allowed it to happen for my youngest daughter, to where her 3 children can grow up right beside us. We're trying to do it on the opposite end of the property, where my son's children can grow up right beside us. My wife stays at home, keeps the children while they're at work, keeps the children if they're not in school during the summer, and we're just trying to make it convenient. Being 5 acres, I don't see where we're not asking for a half-acre lot for a subdivision. That was never our intent. We've got a couple of cows and a horse on the property. So we're trying to keep it as used as it's been in the past. We want to divide all 5 acres for our son to build on.
Very good. All right, any questions for Ms. Pulliam? Oh,
I have one.
sorry. That's fine.
Go ahead, I hate to jump in there first every time.
Go right ahead.
What's left of the property with the metal building, a pool building, and then it backs up to the adjacent property? Do you have any intentions of doing anything with that? Is it just considered buffer?
Right now, it's pasture. It is. It's very weird shape. It's just the way it happened to shake out. The whole thing was kind of weird shaped when we got it. There's no intentions to. With that being said, I'll tell you, I have one more daughter. Her and her husband have 60-plus acres over in Bowman, so I don't think she's ready to move down to 5 acres. They're running about 15, 20 head of cow and about 6, 7 head of swine. So I don't think they're fixing to leave their little farm to come to 5 acres in Calvert. Right now, the intent is just to leave it as a buffer. The intent is going to be that at some point, upon my passing, my wife's passing, it'll be divided in half and given to those 2 children on the sides. So their 5 acres will basically go to 7.5 at that time. That's the intent. We'll leave the house that we're in, which is in the middle, to my oldest girl. Let her figure out what she wants to do with it, and the other 7 will be divided between the youngest daughter and the son that moved onto the property.
All right, any other questions? Any other questions? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
You got one?
Oh, I was saying, we're making the whole 12.29 AR.
I was told that was the only way it would work with the new zoning,
Use
so,
the acreage line.
yeah. I'd love to leave it in the A2, but, right, so, yeah, we'll have to go to AR.
All right, thanks, sir. All right, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone in favor? Hearing none, is there anyone here who wants to speak in opposition? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for any further discussion or entertain a motion to approve or disapprove.
Mr. Chairman, I did have one question real quick, please.
Okay, please.
On this, when we're subdividing parcels, we have a minimum road frontage that we are to look at on those type things. And I know this is coming off 2 roads, and if you don't mind, gentlemen, for my clarification moving forward, are we allowed to add those 2 together to get that 125 feet?
Not for our ordinance.
Because when we take that 5 acres off of it,
the way, you know, like where his
in
pool
between
is.
that, is that, I mean, I
In
can't
between
tell
that,
from
is
this,
that, I mean, I
believe.
can't tell
Can I
from this,
speak to
I
that
don't
for
believe,
just a
but.
second? Can I speak to that for just a second? Because I can probably clear some of that up. I apologize. I did not realize until we were surveying off the 5 acres, that the pool and the metal building were not on the 3.15 where my house is. We thought it was. The tax commissioners thought it was. They're taxing our pool and that building on my house.
Imagine that.
So that was discovered, and at that time, when the surveyor came out, the strip that comes up to the house, to my house, is gonna be about 1.65 acres that's going to be attached to my 3.15 to where the pool and the building are actually with my house. So what that's gonna do is make my lot 4.9, and it's just gonna leave this one strip, which will have 125 feet off of the Jack Sharp. It won't have any on Foot McClellan.
And that wasn't as much for yours. I applaud, and I hope to be as fortunate with my children to be able to do the exact same thing. I just wanted to add to my bank and my arsenal of knowledge to be able to do the county a better job, and this is the first time that it's come up.
Yeah,
And
it is a little bitty strip, and we didn't realize it until the surveyor got there.
very good, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That, satisfy you,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Smith? Any,
So, do we need to put that in a motion? Is that strictly,
They're taking care of it.
okay.
Well, and Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the resale as presented.
I'll second.
okay, there's been a motion to approve, and a second. Any other comments, or we're ready to vote? We are, I'm a yes.
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 All right, sir. It's been approved. Again, we're a recommending body, and it will be presented before the Board of Commissioners, I believe September the 11th.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, number 6. Gary Harbor, the application for Alice Bullock.
And he is requesting to rezone her 23.112 acres from A1 to A2 for a land swap to allow 4.458 acres to be split from her tract and combined with adjoining property, map 32, parcel 121, and to absorb 3.081 acres into her tract from the same adjoining property. Property is located at 2750 Spratland Mill Road in Hull on map 32, parcel 64 in District 3.
All right. Ms. Harvey, tell us what you'd like us to know.
Good evening. I guess I brought the most confusing case for the night. I apologize for that, but we did not create this confusion. The tax assessor ended up, don't want to beat up on it too much, but this 3.081 acre parcel was connected to a parcel that it was not contiguous to, which kind of caused this issue. What this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the remnants of Spratland Mill development. Ms. Bullock and Mr. Bullock are here tonight. They developed the neighborhood out there, and this is the land that has been left over between the phases that are out there. And their nephew, Mr. Dooley, who's the adjoining property owner off of Spratland Mill Drive, is going to buy the property behind there to leave a buffer for himself. His sister actually has a lot next to him as well right there, so it'll leave a pretty nice screening buffer from any development from the property behind it that's owned by Capital Resource Management, as you can see. Ms. Bullock's property is currently zoned A1. We're just trying to get it zoned to A2 so we can do the swap to meet the state requirements for zoning. So any questions, I'm here to answer.
All right, any questions? Go ahead, Sam.
Oh. Okay, there's a long drive. Now,
That's the Bullock's property where the sign is. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, okay, so as you're going up that long drive, where's the property in the back?
Yeah, so it is actually past the house that you can kind of see from the drive there. This property that's going to be subdivided off and combined with the other property back there is actually a heavily wooded area back behind the Bullock's home back there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so her son?
It's their nephew.
Nephew?
Yep.
He's in the subdivision?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's where he's going to?
Yeah, so he, his residence is actually right there.
Okay.
And so looking out of his back door, the piece of property that we're trying to get, to make all that work is right there, that 4.5 acres, yes.
Now I got it. Okay.
Any further questions?
I'll just ask this, it may be not necessary. I believe this is in 2015 CUBA, has all that been worked out?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're holding the plat till January 2nd to record it. I think we have 180 days from the VOC meeting, so, this one and actually the next two cases are gonna get held because of CUBA till January 2nd to be recorded. Yep.
All right. Go ahead.
Part of that new catch program, the process is catching these, and the dates just happen to work with that 180.
Okay. Any further questions on this particular one? All right.
Thank you.
We'll open the public hearing for number 6. If anyone here wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in favor? Hearing none?
Can I go back? The property, is there a road off of that property after you connect the 4 acres, the property beside it? Does it have any entrances?
So it actually had a 60-foot strip for future development of the subdivision, but Mr. Dooley is purchasing that as part of this.
No, okay, you know where, okay, the property purchasing next to that. No, go down.
Yep.
No, go down. The little strip, there. That
So-
whole land back there.
Yeah, so that's actually just a field road that they have cut back there that they use when they timbered all the property that we located.
I know all the property that's next to the field road. Is that somebody's property?
This is capital
No.
resource management, all the way around the property.
No, I'm talking about right in the middle. This property right here.
So that property is currently zoned A2, and that's part of the combination that we're doing with the 4.5 acres. So that, I believe it's 13 acres, will be combined with the 4.5 acres.
Oh, I was gonna say, 'cause that'd be landlocked.
Correct, yeah, right now it's not landlocked, it has an access point, and the access point is being conveyed when they sell it with it. But the access point that is there it's a 60-foot strip for a future right-of-way that, of course, we're not terminating, but putting back in the, buffer green space right now.
Not landlocked.
No, ma'am.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, I believe we were at the point of, anyone will speak in favor. Hearing none, anyone will speak in opposition? Okay. Bring it back to the board for any further discussion and a motion to approve or disapprove.
Can I have a question too? Since they are saying all this is going to be done, but we don't know, we're just taking their word, do we put that in, that road be, so
It
there's
would
not
have to be,
landlocked?
with the recording of the plat, it'll have to be
Okay,
put into it.
just wanna make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, of the 3, actually, I guess the third one, we're probably gonna need a condition, because it's only, but these first 2 don't, because they need minimum acreages anyway.
Okay, all right, so we're on the first 2, okay.
Any further
But you're right, 100%.
discussion or a motion to approve or disapprove?
Well, I'll make a motion that it be approved as written.
Okay, can I get a second? Second. Okay. For a motion, any second? That, this be approved? Any further discussion? If not, Lee? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Wilson? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. All right, Mr. Harvard, number 6, okay. We will present that to the Board of Commissioners on September the 11th to be approved. Number 7, Tracy.
Did we talk about combining 7 and 8 last meeting?
It's kind of difficult because they're separate owners.
Well, as we get into it, we'll decide as to whether we need to
Yeah.
combine them or not.
Different owners, kind of
Okay.
partially, but, the next one up is Gary Harvin, applicant for Eddie McCarty, is requesting to rezone his 18.695 acres from A1 to A2 to allow a 4.797 acre portion to be split off and absorbed into his mother's adjoining property, identified as map 70, parcel 13, leaving a balance of 13.898 acres. Property is located at 905 McCarty Dodd Road in Colbert on map 70, parcel 11B in District 5.
Okay, Mr. Harvin, you want to explain this one to us?
Okay, yeah. So this one, Mr. and Mrs. McCarty, own the property, the one-story brick house shown on tract 2 at the 13.89 acres. Originally, the tract was close to 18 or 19 acres. They put the house on the market and they are looking to downsize. In putting the house on the market, they're wanting to retain 4.79 acres of the property, which is in this area here. And their mother, Miss Shirley McCarty, owns a 7-acre parcel here. They just want to combine the two to an 11.72 acre tract. So, each case does have a different, owner on them. But we are combining the properties as an ultimate goal, to get to the A2 zoning. Again, this property, I think, is zoned A1, and the new ordinances has got us here in front of you guys. So, if any questions?
You guys have any questions? All right, so we will open the public hearing, and is there anyone here who wants to speak in favor of? Anybody wants to speak in favor? Hearing none, anyone want to speak in opposition? Again, hearing none, we will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for a more discussion or a motion to approve, disapprove, or any conditions that you may want to put on this rezone request.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
I direct this to our council. I find, what is the salient difference between the two requests that would prohibit them being combined? Because they seem almost, half of one and half of the other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I was just looking at that actually, and we may do that at the Board of Commissioners I mean, normally if it's the same owner and they're adjacent, we say they can ask to have it heard together. Since we actually have I think the applicant could probably speak for all three owners and say they consent to these three being combined. I'm sorry, I'm thinking as I'm talking here. You could maybe combine these first two. The third one, you probably want to add a condition to it that additional acreage be added to bring it up to the 10 acres, as proposed here, which these first two don't need because they have sufficient acreage anyway.
That's a relatively innocuous
Yeah.
condition. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? At this point, we'll entertain a motion. I move that we approve this request.
I'll second.
Yeah.
So we have a motion to approve and a second that this request be granted. Any further comments or questions? Not, Ms. Smith?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. All right. Number
8.
8.
Okay. We got Gary Harvin again, applicant for Shirley McCarty, is requesting to rezone her 6.93 acres from A1 to A2 to allow 4.797 acres from her son's adjoining property, identified as map 70, parcel 11B, to be absorbed into her tract for a total of 11.727 acres. Property is located at 1045 McCarty Dodd Road in Culvert on map 70, parcel 13 in District 5.
All right, I'm sure 7 won't work without 8, so go ahead.
I was just gonna answer Mr. Candy's question on that. I think what somewhat gets confusing is, you know, the purpose of us coming in and do the zoning is we're trying to rezone the actual parcel itself, and this having a different owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just ends up making a new case. But typically, it's nice to know what the future is and what the site plan and what it's gonna change to, but, you know, similar to Ms. Bullock's, we're rezoning that one piece of property because we have a bunch of other work we're trying to accomplish out there. But I guess the main deal is the actual zoning itself and the state law is what I've ran into my whole career, so, yeah. But, any other questions on this one?
Staff like that error on the side of safety too, especially legally.
Hearing none, we'll close and we'll open the public hearing. Does anyone want to speak in favor of this? Anyone want to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, anyone want to speak in opposition to? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board for any further discussion or a motion to approve. With that, I'll make a motion that we approve.
Make a condition with it combined and make it come up to 11 acres.
That's part of the request.
Providing it's absorbed.
Well, no matter about that, it has to be, yeah, I would suggest a condition, that additional acreage be added, at least sufficient to meet the 10 acres. That's all we've written, you know, we don't really care about tenths and hundreds. We just need to get at least 10 acres.
Yeah, and the applicant, owners don't have any issue with that. Their intent is to create that 11-acre lot as soon as we can get this plat recorded, so.
We just trying to get the horse to the cart.
Yeah.
Make them combine.
So the condition, additional acreage must be added to create a minimum lot of 10 acres.
So, Fraser, you want to read that back to make sure we got it
Yes, sir.
corrected?
So the condition be additional acreage must be added to create a parcel of a minimum 10 acres.
I'll second that much.
Okay, we have a motion by me and a second by Ken. Any further comments or? All right, Bruce? Yes.
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 Okay.
All right, thank
It's
you.
approved.
Thank y'all.
Number 9, Adam Nash applicant for David Coral and Jean Coral Estate. Ms. Tracy.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Adam Nash, applicant for David Cool with the Jean Cool Estate, is requesting to rezone a 5-acre portion of the 69.85 acre property from A1 to AR to allow the 5 acres to be split off to be sold, and the remaining 64.85 acres will stay in the A1 zone. Property is located at 1841 Macedonia Church Road in Danielsville on map 51, parcel 22 in District 2.
All right, Mr. Nash?
I'm purchasing 5 acres from David, and I have a letter that allows me to represent them.
Okay.
Here tonight.
That's fine.
It was just my understanding this had to be zoned AR before it could be recorded, and I would be able to finish my process of purchasing it.
All right, any questions for this gentleman?
So, is it your intention to build a home there, or?
There's a home already there. It was built around 1900. My plan is to renovate that place.
And live in it.
No, I'm not
just renovate it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna renovate it. I'd like to be able to get it, you know, close to what it used to be back when it was originally built. I mean, it used to be a school actually, like back when it was first created. And then a lady lived in it after that.
Was it also a store?
Yes, I believe so. At one point, not really.
Are you planning on making it a historic site or something?
I mean, maybe, possibly. I don't know how to really look into that. I just like to bring it back to.
Oh, but I'm saying it's got a well and you're redoing all this, and was it gonna be occupied?
At some point, I'm sure it will down the road,
Oh.
you know, be occupied, but as of right now, I just want to renovate it and possibly keep it. And, you know, if I get too far into it, I'm sure I'll have to end up selling it, but as of right now, I'd like to just be the owner of it.
And you don't have any plans with the rest of the property to put any dwellings on it or anything? Just the old home?
Just the old home.
Any further questions? All right, thank you, sir. All right, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, anyone wants to speak in opposition to this particular request? Hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board for any further discussion or a motion to approve or disapprove.
I make the motion to approve.
A motion to approve?
Second.
We have a second? Any further discussion from the board? If not, we'll start with you, Steph.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
This application has been approved. It will be presented to the Board of Commissioners. They have the final say. Suggest that you attend the second public hearing in case there's questions that I can't answer.
Okay, for sure.
Is there anything else that needs to come before this board tonight? Anything else needs to come before this board tonight? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, we do have
I have a staff announcement.
we have an announcement, okay?
As of today, we have it on the
Three.
as of today, it's 18 months.
I need some, we all have some. Haven't updated some.
Legal counsel may correct us, but over 17,000 parcels went through one by one over the past year by our GIS mapper, Ms. Tracy, Ms. Teresa in the office. Lots of questions, a lot of deed searching was done, but we're hoping to get it emailed out to y'all. Hopefully this week. We're still reviewing the GSI mapper. He just turned it back into us today, and we've been checking them for a year and a half. I think we'll check them just a few more days to make sure it's up and running. But our plan is to have it on the county website so that GSI mapper updates it after each BOC approval of a rezone. Hopefully it'll be done the next day. But within a short matter of time so that it is accurate. Every time you click on the link, it'll update the newest splits.
You can search it by parcel also.
It's color coded. I can't tell all the different shades of greens, but I'm tickled pink about it myself. So you have an easy reference for us to be able to use that and to see what's around the property. And then we can put that map right next to our comp plan map, and it will hopefully let us off.
So when this new electronic map is fully finished, we'll need to adopt it, so we can go through the public, just like a rezone.
Public hearing.
Yes, sir, just like a text amendment. And then we'll adopt the official map instead of right now our official map is paper maps. We'll go through that process to designate our new official map as this electronic one.
Okay. I have a question for the staff.
Yes, sir.
Where are we on the dog kennel?
Dog kennels, we're searching the other counties around us. We've already searched them. I'm trying to reach out to GDA to get where they have large kennels, just not, like the average ones that we deal with, say like 30 and under. Trying to find other ones kind of like Shake Rag, where it's several hundred, are set up in it. Not necessarily a puppy mill like we've seen, but Fox Hunting Club, their dogs over there, they keep anywhere from 175 up to 200. Want to see how other counties have implemented large facilities. We can find a lot all day long on smaller facilities.
Complete update of where we are and what the next step will be.
That's no trouble at all, sir.
All right.
Any update on where we are with the third party? Are we still doing that, or?
I actually spoke to the chairman about that, yesterday or last week, I can't remember, I think it was last week. So I think, probably, and I just haven't had a chance to talk to you, but we need to get together and write an RFQ. Q, let's do a Q, not a P. And, we'll get the RFQ out and then start interviewing some firms to do that.
And that's where we were sitting, as far as staff in the building, was RFP, RFQ. We want to go out for qualifications, or we want to go out just for straight purchase?
I think Q, I think the chairman's fine with Q. That's what ACCG sort of suggested, which I thought was a good suggestion for us.
And I hope they run with it.
Oh, and, yeah, and I asked, I thought, well, if y'all were all here, I asked Chrissy Marlowe, at our workshop, and that's the other thing we need to do. One of us needs to reach out to Georgia Planning Association and see if they have some templates for an RFQ that we could follow.
I'll be at the conference next week.
Excellent. See what you can find. Thank you, ma'am.
That's also with the dog kennels. There's a planning conference next week that I'll be attending, and that's actually one of the subjects, kennels.
Okay.
So I was hoping to try and get some more in from across the state instead of just trying to pick and search, at random with GDA.
Now, you say the commercial, are we looking more at commercials or like what we've been coming across like personal?
A lot of counties have it set for the number of dogs that you're doing, just not the purpose. Like breeding or hunting dogs if you have a large facility, and that's how they start breaking it down for setbacks. But we're fortunate enough to where we have intense ag at A1 and regular ag A2 where the kennels are conditional use. And so a lot of our setbacks for kennels right now are what other counties have, and it's correct in our A2. But they limit it around 30 to 50. In other counties on that 10 acres, when we see a request come in for something, a number that we can all, agree to, propose to the BOC, if it's over that number, you have to have an A1 zone so that you can meet these greater setbacks, just like a chicken house. Instead of 100 feet, maybe we need 450 feet for a kennel. To be in an A1, if you have over X amount of dogs that are either breeding or hunting or, whatever their purpose is, but that number dictate how many setbacks we have. And that's what I'm hoping to see is other counties, once they breach that number, a lot of counties just have, you cannot have more than X amount of dogs, period, kennel or personally owned. Oconee County has it where you can only own 6 dogs in the ag areas and 3 dogs in the residential.
Okay. Isn't this the issue that the UGA professor was here speaking of too? Have we reached out to her to see what she could help us with?
We've got the people at, I'm going to mispronounce it, it's not Valhalla, but it's Valhalla. And Shake Rag, I've reached out to them trying to get with us to where maybe we can have a field trip to look at these well-done kennels if that's the requirements that we want to the county.
So since you're going to this class or these meetings or whatever, you probably would have more information for us than I did this meeting, so.
Fingers crossed, yes, sir.
All right. Anything else?
And it's more than just dog kennels.
Huh?
It's more than just dog kennels.
Okay. All right. Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Unanimous?
Yes. I was waiting on Brooke.
No, also update me on any of
Who was first?
Okay. Spring one.
Yeah.
All right.
That change your ordinance,
Right.
next 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
What do you say, stranger?
Get them signs out early, man. Like,